J-Flight 29 RKS here at Haylett RV of Coldwater, Michigan, coming in at 7,025 pounds, half-ton towable couples coach. And what I like about this is it has the same twin recliners and big giant window of a rear living room, except with chairs and a window that overlook your campsite instead of the back of the neighbor's campsite, and with more cabinet and countertop prep space than any rear living room could really pretty much ever dream of offering in a comparable size. The 29 RKS J-Flight is a little less travel friendly than some, but it's no less travel friendly than a common rear kitchen. Travel friendliness and full accessibility is actually one of the things that I helped influence on the Open Range 2804 rear kitchen, but that's really a horse of a different color. That's a laminated ultralight. The layout's a little bit different. This one, however, what I do like is the ease of access to the bathroom and the bedroom, so if you're just going to load up your clothes and then hit the road, this one still gets the job done pretty well. So there are plenty of these super slide rear kitchens out there. And even in just this category, meaning a wood skeleton with a corrugated aluminum skin, you know, we have this available in Forest River and in Keystone and our Springdales here, not to mention several other very nice laminated products like our Passports, our Open Ranges. But in this category, the J-Flights, they're the biggest, heaviest, most expensive, and yet they rank among our most successful version of this floor plan from any manufacturer. So why is that? And I think the answer is the way it's put together, the execution, the thought process, all the extras that go into this, the touches. And it really starts right from the moment you step inside, because J-Flights are taller. This has a 6'9" interior instead of 6.5 foot, so it is a little bit bigger in here. I like that personally. It's one of the reasons I tend to personally camp in a J-Flight, because it gave me the extra headroom to stand in the shower. But in a rear kitchen like this, it means that we're getting a bigger slide, it means that we're getting bigger cabinetry, and it really, really adds up. Now, there's all kinds of different ways you can build one of these. Like, we'll tend to put the bigger 15,000 BTU air on this. We tend to put the thermal package on this. We'll talk more about that outside. But understand that this might be different from the one we have on hand. Like, this is the tumbleweed decor right here, and this is the middle brown. There's light brown, there's dark brown, then there's middle brown. So you've got brown, browner, and brownest, and this is browner. Side note, growing up, my grandfather had a pair of pulling ponies that would pull, trailers around and whatnot, and they were twins. And I always thought their names were Brownie and Brownher, or Browner, and it turns out it was Brown he and Brown her. They were a boy and a girl twins. Anyway, doesn't matter. How did I get on that tangent? Wow. Okay, moving on. So you see the little LED accent light under the sofa. Those are the little extras you're going to get here, and that is a full tri-fold hide-to-bed upgrade over the standard jackknife sofa. You'll find that all the windows open, all the windows are tinted, all the windows have nice pleated shades. They don't do that only in the living room and then scale down elsewhere. Something else I like is that they actually fully frame out their windows, and one, it looks aesthetically cool. It looks very purposeful. But two, it gives your pleated shade mount something to actually bite into and anchor into, so they don't rip out of the wall, you know. The cabinetry is all pocket screwed lumber core, meaning not particle board stapled together, so it's going to last longer. That's one of the first reasons we've discussed why this has twice the warranty of basically anything else in this class. We'll talk a lot about that when we get outside. You have a standard booth. We have found, though, that the folks with this rear kitchen, they vastly seem to prefer the freestanding table and chairs in this Jayco. Interestingly, in our Forest River and our Keystones, they like the booth. So it's just kind of funny how certain things sing in certain brands and stand out. Now, the kitchen is exceptionally well executed. It's very easy to miss some of the subtleties here. Let's start over here by the refrigerator with this 6'9" tall floor-to-ceiling pantry. Once again, that extra height already giving us more storage. It also creates the room for an 8 cubic foot fridge freezer standard. You don't have to pay extra to upgrade to a bigger fridge in a J-Flight. Now, as we swing over here, we got drawers to the floors in J-Flights. That's something I always focus in on these, because I notice it's one of those seemingly imperceptible things most brands don't do. You have 4 full extension ball bearing glide drawers with plywood boxing all the way down to the floor. Not 1 or 2 or 3, but 4. As I've said several times. I think you can count. they give you very easy full access to every ounce of that kitchen counter storage space too. And that rear counter section there is something that is often missed. The overhead cabinetry, I love the level exchanges and the different shapes and just the character that it has in here. It's not just flat and boring. It's very functional, but also aesthetically pleasing in a way that also doesn't really rack up the price tag. That's an area they really executed well. Skylight's an option that we've applied here. We do that in basically all the full-blown J flights, and it gives you that extra natural ambient light, but you can see we do have that shade here if you're feeling like it's too hot and you want to just kind of mute that a little bit. That'll help block some of that sunlight. Now, these are real tile backsplashes back here, not the old brick wallpaper. You know that people felt like people come in and say, "Man, I feel like I've been lied to almost," you know. And they say, "You know, I know it sounds silly like that, but I feel like there's a level of deception going on here." Well, Jayco said, "No problem. We'll put the nicer stuff in, and nicer stuff is what you're going to see all over the place." Like, let me get my glove off here. Like, you can hear the difference between real metal fixtures and cheaper plastic fixtures. Plus, you can see we got the pull-out sprayer faucet here. Now we have both the sink cover and the roll-away aluminum drying rack, which has become very popular. We started seeing that kind of in like our Eagle fifth wheels, and the whole Jayco family pretty much adopted it, and it's gone over, you know, very, very well. Back here we have, or I guess over here rather, we have twin pushback recliners. These are totally free floating, so you can really move them around to your comfort level. You can lay nearly flat on those. And this is what I was saying. This is why I prefer a rear kitchen over a rear living room. I get the same two recliners. I get the same big window, except this window overlooks my campsite. Well, and hopefully you don't have a you know, Winnebago Micro Mini just parked in the middle of your campsite, but you get the idea. I can look under my awning. I can look out at my campsite. I'm not looking at the back of the camper who happens to be parked behind me. Now, that can vary, obviously, based on where you camp and what your campsite is positioned like, but most folks, if you're camping in a park, you are back-to-back against another trailer, so this makes more sense to me. Plus, one of the things I love about most rear kitchens is they're very social. The seating faces inward. All the seating is focused toward one another, so it's a very good entertainer's floor plan, and I think that's what I like about rear kitchens. They're for entertaining, and maybe I'm just a bit of an entertainer by nature. I like to have people over. I tend to be the guy talking in the room most of the time. I know that's hard to believe, but trust me, it's true. Anyway, I digress. The point I'm making here is, like, I grew up camping. I don't want, God, I sound old when I say this. I'm old for my age. I grew up camping at a younger, simpler time before we had flat screen HD TVs, but it's true. I grew up camping boondocking, and I love all the fancy pants, gadgets, and electronics in these things. But me, when I'm camping, I'm either going to sit here and eat something, or I'm going to play a hand of euchre, which you know you're from Michigan if you can say, spell, and play euchre. You know, I'm going to be sitting here chatting with my friends or whatever. Now, on a rainy day, if it's just me and the missus, I could see enjoying the entertainment center on this, and I think that's why the J-Flight 29 RKS has remained very successful. It does not have a fixed, flat position-mounted HD TV. Now, the TV will be included. They just simply ship loose from Jayco in our J-Flights, but the TV can pivot out. You can get perfect viewing of the entertainment center no matter where you're at with that big heavy-duty swing arm. Now, something else they've recently done is they've upgraded the chipset on that electronic set right there. Like, normally I'd say, yeah, it's Bluetooth, it's DVD, blah, 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 I'm going to gloss over it. But I do want to focus on two things here. The IRV chipset, you can actually get the IRV app on your phone and turn your phone into a Bluetooth remote control for this thing. Anything you can do here, you can do on the remote. And frankly, you can do it easier on the remote, or on your phone. Now, the other thing they've added is face-mounted HDMI and USB charging plugs. That's not a reader, that's just a charger. So why did they put that there? Well, those little Roku sticks, Chromecast, Amazon Fire, pop that in, power it up, and bang, now we are streaming media friendly. Very cool. So that's, when people see the aluminum siding on the side of this trailer, they'll often refer to this type of camper as entry level. There's nothing entry level about a J-Flight. Nothing at all. We'll talk more about how the construction is far beyond entry level when we get outside. Big giant shoe garage under here too. That is fantastic. Now, neat thing, and this is standard actually, is you have insulated slide floors. You see the double-sided thermofoil. You'll find that even in the J-Flight SLXs. Now, one thing you're going to hear me talk about a lot in a Jayco is plywood. So you're looking at this going, I'm not dumb. That's OSB. What did they do? Did they go cheaper where I can't see it? And the answer is no. That's the most expensive slide flooring I've ever seen in the industry. That's a material called PMAX, and it is specifically engineered for RV slide-out floors. And it is very thick. It is very heavy duty, and where you can really tell the difference is if you ask an RV sales associate, like one of our guys here at Haylett RV, can you run the slide in and then stand on the slide floor, like right here? And most of them, you can feel yourself moonwalking until the slide goes out. And that's okay. There's nothing actually wrong with that. You don't really feel the moonwalk on this. It is thicker, heavier, more rigid, made to last better, stronger, longer. That's the idea behind a J-Flight. That's one of the other reasons they have twice the warranty of everybody else. It adds up. Now, travel friendly. We kind of talked about how you can get to the bathroom, but when you're also campsite friendly because you don't want to track dirt through your whole RV. So you're like door, bathroom, door, in, out, done. And it's just simpler and easier. Also, all your important bells and whistles and whiz bangs and switches and every other thing, they's all contained up in her so that you don't have the little kids monkeying with your stuff. Look, just little stuff like this. They could have put a piece of leftover scrap wood up here. They could have made it look nice and put a couple coat hangers and be like, oh, neat, I got a coat hanger. But no. This is not a product that is built with seconds. Every single thing in this is purpose-built. That part only exists to go right there. They don't also use it somewhere else. Extra little stuff like that adds up and makes a difference. Now, here in the bathroom, they've done a couple things. First of all, we got that dual entry door, porcelain foot flush stool. And, you know, this is a J-Flight Elite, thermal, all kinds of options and upgrades. Most anything that can be done to a J-Flight is present here. Not everything, but most. We don't try to get unreasonable. We try to be smart. But, you know, there's optional stuff that is kind of affecting some of what we see, like the porcelain stool instead of plastic. But that's nice, you know. Up here, though, I want to draw your attention back to the ceiling. And you see that single blue LED light. It's not really impressive right now, standing here, but at night, at night, it'll make this whole white ceiling and shower glow. So that if you need to get in here to use the bathroom at night, and you want to slide this door open, but you don't want to blind your partner with these high-intensity LED lights overhead, well, then you're not going to, because that is a very dim light, but just enough at night for the contrast to see what you're doing, especially when you have a white toilet, which is basically going to glow. It's very easy to see in here. Plus, we have dedicated linen storage right here in the bathroom, right where it belongs. Very, very well executed. Spinning around, baby right round, our bedroom. I noticed something here. I don't know when they changed this. I don't know when this happened, but I noticed that over here, we had shelves, and on the other side, we had a hanging rod. Now, you could easily remove those shelves and do dual hanging rods, but I thought it was just kind of cool that they're kind of switching it up a little bit. But of course, you could do whatever you wanted. Now, again, this is not an entry-level product. A good indicator is that we have a full overhead cabinet, not just an overhead shelf. We've got more lighting in here. We've got an 80-inch true queen bed, 60 by 80 queen, not short camp queen. That's another reason this floor plane's a little bit longer than some of the other brands that you're going to find out there, even other brands here at Haylett RV. This is a standout within its class. It's also, you know, why J-Flight's been one of the, not just the #1 trailer, but #1 RV sold since 2004, I think? Yeah, 2004 and counting. Cross breeze windows, easy lift bed on double struts to get under there, TV hookups on the wall. This is the one that does all of the things. It looks, at a glance, you're like, oh, it's entry level with the aluminum sides. This has more equipment and higher amenity levels than a lot of laminated trailers that you're going to find out there. So I mentioned it a few times inside, but I really want to hit on it out here. And that is why these guys have double the, you know, full warranty of basically anything else in this class. Not just structural. You know, their warranty covers all that and everything else. What are they doing different and how can they accomplish that? And the answer is 100 little things. That's really the whole story of J-Flight. There's no one factor. I can't point to any one single thing and say, that's the reason this is the #1 selling RV on the planet. It's all these little things, like if you know, we glanced in here, you're like, oh cool, big storage, but did you notice how they fully trim out anything that would be exposed. Well, case in point, we've got a little bit of water dripping down right here. This got wet in the exchange, but I'm not worried about it because there's no wood exposed to be rotted out. So it's going to last longer. That's the extra kind of things they do. Marker lights are LED. Tail and marker lights, in fact, are LED. Luxury fifth wheel standards in the marketplace are still not LED marker lights, and here they're doing it on a J-Flight. They're also taking the time to top seal all exterior components. They don't have to necessarily do that, but things like that help this thing stay put together better, longer, stronger. That's also one of the reasons that J-Flights have the single best resale of any single thing on the market, because there's more confidence in this product out there. They actually ride on a custom engineered chassis, and I mentioned how they are taller inside. Well, it's kind of a misnomer because they are effectively, they have a higher clearance inside, but they actually don't have a taller ceiling. They have a lower floor. And that sounds like I'm splitting hairs, but where you can actually see it is you have a integrated A-frame and fully custom engineered chassis. Jayco's chassis are built only to Jayco specs, and every single chassis is built to the load demands of that specific floor plan so that you don't have unexpected twist and structural loss of integrity or anything like that. Now, what that allows them to do is actually build the floor a little lower to the ground. That, improves your handling and your towing because you have a little bit lower center of gravity. The diamond plate up front, you may have noticed how they extended that down just to help protect that a little bit longer and take care of it. Things like they use a higher grade power tongue jack, a little higher grade power awning, the bigger propane tanks. Everything on this is just a tick higher. Like all of our windows open for airflow. Not some, but all. And all of the windows have a heavy UV tint on them, so that your furniture doesn't get faded, your interior stays cooler, and you have more privacy. Now, no other things, like we have a big baggage door on the other side. We have the same big baggage door on this side. They don't cut that corner. There are a lot of brands that will put a big door on the camp side of the camper, but not on the driver's side of the camper. But this is where you're going to put a lot of your big utility stuff, so that's just as important. Black tank flush, outside utility shower with hot and cold, all that stuff adds up. Now, it's unfortunate you actually can't see the depth and the scope and the scale of the J-Flight thermal package, because it seems like every brand has something called thermal package or pull-up package or extreme weather pack, brother. Well, how are they different? Are they all the same? And the answer is no. They couldn't be much further from the same. And J-Flights actually have the single heaviest, most involved insulation upgrade package available in the entirety of this class and category of travel trailer. And it only starts with what you can see. It only starts with that enclosed underbelly. It then adds both radiant foil and an extra layer of residential batten insulation in the belly. You saw we already have insulated slide flooring. It's just immensely amazing that there's almost no one else in this class that does it. I'm not aware of anyone else that does. And I know a lot of brands out there. I don't know everything about every camper, but I know a lot about most of them, and I'm not aware of anyone else that does that. And they do it standard even on the base model J-Flight SLXs. Then they double the insulation of the roof and also wrap that around the nose. So this thing has a fifth wheel level insulation pack to it. Speaking of the roof, that's another area this is different. Now, there are some trailers like this. They have a 5/8 tongue groove plywood floor deck with 2x3 aluminum, or not aluminum, but 2x3 wooden floor studs, big lumber floor studs down there. There are some other trailers that have things like that, but the roof is where this is different. They have thicker, taller roof trusses, and they use 3/8 plywood roof decking, tongue groove plywood roof decking up there, and that is what allows them to have a 4,800 pound roof rating, which is 50% more than the next guy. There's plenty of walkable roofs out there. This is the heaviest constructed of them, but again, one of the reasons why our J-Flights are not the least expensive or lightest weight travel trailer out there is because they're among the heaviest built. Now, water heaters. There's several different water heater suppliers, and if you look at them, they all say they're a 6-gallon water heater. The vessel is 6 gallons. What you need to compare, guys, is the recharge rate on these things, because J-Flights use an upgraded 6-gallon water heater that is gas and electric and auto ignition and fast recharge. Means it can do gas and electric simultaneously for something like 17.8 gallons per hour, effectively about 18 gallons per hour. There's a little sticker inside that gives you the hard number. Awning, easy tilt, literally 2 fingers can tilt this down because they're supposed to be level recreation and recreational vehicles. And someone goes, oh my God, these idiots forgot the outside speakers. No, they're built right into the awning head. And it's smarter because when the awning angles out, the speakers point down, not at the neighbor. Very intelligent. Goodyear radials. Jayco's ride on Goodyear endurance radials. Literally, no one else in this class and category does that. Not even close. These have the highest speed rating. Not that you should ever be doing it, but these are rated for up to 87 mile an hour, and you don't have to go to some like weird specialty tire shop to get some crazy high pressure tire inflated. You can do this at like any gas station pump, no problem. You know, the bigger entry handle, the wider door, all the extra little things on this add up. That's why this has the single best sales record out there of anything for so many years. And if it wasn't built right, if it wasn't holding together, if it hadn't earned consumer confidence, they wouldn't still be the #1 by a very wide margin. So if you'd like to learn a little more about them, or, you know, see about putting one of these in your driveway or campsite or wherever, give our team a call. We are all factory trained here. I just might be the only guy you've had a chance to meet, but we all have the same training and we have the same pedigree I do. We are all about giving you straightforward information, making sure we get the one that fits you best. We want to help you find your second camper the first time, and maybe that's why we are Michigan's largest standalone independent RV dealer. So take care, stay safe, have fun, happy camping everyone, and remember, we basically only do everything except for hidden dealer fees. We leave that nonsense to the other guys.